Today I have a special guest. We have Professor Neil. Sometimes that happens, and unlike on TikTok, I can't go for another take. So Neil, why don't you introduce yourself and let everybody know what you do?
Sure. So I'm Neil Shiminsky, probably better known as Professor Neil online, and I do a bunch of things. My day job, I am a college professor of English at Cambrian College in Sudbury, where Frank and I were talking before we started recording here. I also am the faculty union president. Um, a little bit of responsibility juggling there. And then online, somebody recently described me as a pugilist, as a social media pugilist.
Okay.
Which for those who aren't familiar with that sort of archaic language, he's calling me a boxer. Which I
I was gonna say
actually like.
you take people to task is kind
Yeah.
of yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like my signature style, at least for the moment, right? Where I mostly respond to people who are giving advice on how to be a man or how to date, usually dating advice for men, um, relationship advice for men,
Yeah, you
or
really do
just
veer into the toxic masculinity space. It seems like, right?
exactly. Yeah, I like to pick fights with the manosphere is basically what it comes down to. And so that is a lot of my social media persona. Although I sometimes also talk about pet interests like Canadian politics, something that you're quite familiar with, um, politics more generally too, or even comic books, superheroes.
I was
That
gonna say
that's
I've seen you do
actually
a few breakdowns of like superheroes, whether it's in media or in comparison
yeah.
to the modern day, and kind of like a way to like look at things through a different lens. I think that might have been actually how I was first introduced to your content was a video about superheroes. Um,
And
yeah.
actually, that's how my channel started. It's teaching a class on comic books and looking for a place where I could share more of the content that I wasn't getting into in class, or that I also just really enjoyed teaching in class, and thought, hey, this might be fun to share online. I think we're getting away from me introducing myself, and I'm now moving
Well,
in